Hey everybody, this is John from Summit Coatings. Today's video is going to be a kind of experiment DIY home improvement project. Out back at the shop here, I poured a roughly 4x12 slab about 4 years ago. And I'm going to take 1/3 of it. I'm going to polish it, a full polish up to 3500 grit. The other third, I'm going to make it into a grind-in seal. And then the last third, I want to do a flake flooring system with UV base coat, top coat, and see how that stands up through the years. So maybe next summer I'll give you an update on how that looks, and then the year after if it's still there. Let's take a look at the gear that we're going to use today. So they say every job needs a supervisor. This is Emma Louise, my constant shadow, companion, guardian, protector, messer-upper, dirt digger, cat chaser, extraordinaire. She's a good girl. Emma, wag your tail. Wag your tail. All right, so here we go. We have our grinder. We have our Work Tunes ear protection. I highly recommend this for everything from running lawnmowers, leaf blowers, weed whackers, grinders. It's great. You can play your music. The battery lasts for like days. We got our N95 dust mask, safety glasses, gloves, knee pads. So for the grind and seal and the UV flake, we have a couple alternatives here. We may start with the 30. I'll give it a test run. The slab is poured out of quickcrete. We probably going to start off with a 60. When you're grinding, you always want to start with the least destructive, I guess, grit that you can use. So I'm thinking that we'll probably do a 60. Because this is my house, I'll probably do a second grind and do the 150 metallic on it. I think we'll be okay with the 60, but like I said, it's a small slab, so we're probably going to hit the 150 as well. Now for the fully polished section of the slab, we're going to drop back down after we do the 150 metallic. We're going to drop down to 50 resin. We're going to hit it with a 120 resin. We're going to hit it with a 220 resin. We're going to hit it with a 400 resin. And I don't have an 800. If I did, I'd use it, but come on, it's for a trash can pad, so I'm okay skipping that. Then we're going to hit it with the 1800 resin, and then we're going to hit it with the 3500 resin. I'm not going to spend time trying to burnish it because, like I said, it's a trash can pad, so that's a little ridiculous, but we will coat it. We are going to apply a densifier. And I may get fancy and apply some stain, but we'll see how I feel. It's a trash can pad, and it's going to be in the 90s next week or this week. And I only have so much energy for a trash can pad. But let's go take a look at the slab. Also, one more important item we need here is R2D2. Okay, so here's our slab. It's about roughly 50 square feet. It's 4 inches thick. I poured this about, 4 years ago. It was a real pain. I rented a mixer. I got about 3/4 of the way through. I think I had 50, 60 bags to mix. And the rental mixing machine blew up. So then I had to do the last third of the bags by hand in a wheelbarrow. It was a rush situation. It was hot, and I don't know, there's no cracks in it. Like I said, it's just for the trash cans and the rain barrel. It's pretty rough. I didn't know much about concrete when I poured this, but overall I'm happy it's doing its job. So I'm gonna get the leaf blower, clean it up a little bit, and then we'll get grinding. That in it. Okay, here's how it turned out. It turned out great, actually. On the right-hand side, we have the flake system installed. In the center there, we have a grind and seal. That next little like 2-inch section, that's like no man's land. That's just untreated concrete where the tape was laid down. And then on the left side, we have the full polish, which turned out completely awesome. I'm so happy with it. Let's take a look at each piece here. Let's take a second now to look at the different chemicals that we use for each part of this pad. So for the flake system, I started off using a 2-to-1 ratio XPS vapor moisture barrier system, which is pretty cool because you can broadcast the flakes into that, and it worked out great. On top of that, on the left-hand side, I put a 1-to-1 poly on top of it for the top coat, and it turned out great. I think the flake name is Orbit, but it's kind of cool. It's blue and gray, but it turned out awesome. I also used a liquid solid gray color for the base coat, just to help the flakes blend in. Let's move on to the grind and seal here. This is the cheapest floor option I have. I'll charge anywhere from $3 to $4 a square foot. I came first and hit it with the 30 diamonds, then came back and hit it with 60 diamonds for just a few minutes. And then I put 2 coats of sealant down. Turned out great. It's quick, it's easy, it's fast. Just note that it's not a permanent floor system. This will probably have to be done again and again throughout the years, and it's based on usage and wear, and could last anywhere from a couple of years to 5, who knows. But it's not permanent, but it's cheap, it's quick, and it's easy. So here comes my favorite part here. This is the polished concrete section. I never thought that Quikrete could look so good. The aggregate came out, different colors. It's like a goddamn diamond. It's perfect. Perfect with a hand grinder. Don't look at the sides, just the center part. It's awesome. So just as a reminder, what we did here, we started with the 30 grit metal. I went to the 70 grit, 120 grit, and then I put the pick wrap down. Then we transitioned to the 50 resin grit, 100 grit resin, 200 grit, 400 grit. Then we put down the densifier, and then I skipped the 800, but I went to the 1500, and then I finished up with the 3500. There's no way in hell I'm going to burnish this little section of my trash can pad, but I tell you what, man, this turned out fantastic. I am so happy with the results. I've never thought that you could do something so great with a hand grinder, but it's doable, and it turned out awesome. So let's look at what we did here with the chemicals. So for the varnish, I used the XPS Fast Cure Crack Filler, Part A, Part B, 1-to-1. Got to mix it in tiny batches because you got like a 60-second working window with this stuff. So you got to get it on there, get your trowel, spread it out, and you're ready to grind like, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes later. It's perfect. And then right before the last 2 polishing stages, I applied this XPS Extreme Hard Concrete Hardener and Densifier. Real easy to do. Just spray it on, let it soak in, spray a little more, let it soak in, and let it dry for an hour, and then hit it with the 2 final passes of the grinder. It worked great. All right, so let's wrap up this video here. The main purpose of this video is just to kind of see what happens to different flooring systems through time when they're outside in the elements. Here in the Northeast, we have super hot summers where we get 110 plus heat days with the heat index. In the wintertime, we get single digits. We get snow, rain, hail, everything. Check back next summer in the summer after that, and we'll see how these different coatings hold up through the test of time.